Hey, what's happening, YouTube? Chris here from New Venture Entrepreneurs. And in this video, I want to try something a little bit different. I'm actually joined by Ben here. Ben is a fellow Merch by Amazon seller. And today we're just going to talk about our Merch by Amazon business that, what happened throughout the week. This is going to be like a weekly or bi-weekly series between us. So let's go ahead and introduce Ben. So Ben, you want to talk about yourself, where you're from and what got you started on Merch by Amazon?
Of course. First of all, Chris, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here and appreciate the time and inviting me onto the channel and getting this set up. So with that being said, yeah, guys, my name's Ben. I am down in Southern California as well. And I guess just to touch on backgrounds, I've kind of always been interested in e-commerce, and that I guess I kind of first got into it after college because I started doing door-to-door sales, and
Wow.
yeah, that was a fun experience. Really, like, I'm honestly pumped that I did it, but every time I was going out to knock doors, I kind of thought, there's got to be an easier way, not an easier way, but there's got to be a more efficient way to actually sell or hawk a product to people rather than door to door. And
Right.
So that's kind of where I built, though, the foundation for what's, taken me to all these other places. But that's where I piqued my interest. And then from there, kind of started getting into, I guess, like the Shopify and Amazon routes. And I played around there for a while, and then ultimately dipped my toes into eBay for a little bit last year. And now I've been into print on demand, primarily with Merch by Amazon. So, yeah.
So you still do eBay and you still do Shopify?
Yeah, so I do. Before I found out about Merch by Amazon, I was actually just doing print on demand through Shopify, and then I would actually just use Shopify to kind of house all of my designs. I was trying to do it as low cost as possible, so I'd actually take a lot of those designs and then just use these different listing softwares or apps to push them to eBay, to Etsy, and then to Amazon. And I got to the point on Amazon where I was selling, I think, some coffee mugs and making, $200, $300, $400 a month.
Wow.
In revenue. So that's not profit. So when you boil it down, it's only maybe like $100, but still that $100, that first $100 that you're making somewhat consistently online is kind of like the starting point. So and that was without any paid traffic or anything. And then I still do that a little bit, but I've kind of weaned off it. And now for this kind of, I guess, like the period I'm at right now is just focused 100% on Merch by Amazon and trying to make the most out of this platform. And then we'll see what happens. So, yeah.
Yeah, going back to eBay, like you said, I believe that eBay is just like a great platform to get your toes wet, really. That way you can just learn so much about selling online. You can learn what sells really and, good keywords. That's a good starting point. So I remember I started on eBay myself a year and a half ago. So yeah, if anyone wants to start selling online, I definitely suggest, looking into eBay when you're first beginning. Yeah.
It's like I definitely second that. I think eBay is one of the easiest ways to actually get a start. And I mentioned this a few other times just talking to you, but you can literally go out today with $25 or 30 or 50 bucks, even $5 if that's all you have, and hit up garage sales in your area. And I know you alluded to Gary Vee, but I just watched one of his videos where the new method now is you can go on Craigslist and just pick up stuff that people just want to get rid of for free and then list it yourself on the Facebook marketplace or these other marketplaces. So I think there's a lot of ways that can get you started, and then you can just go from there. So
yeah, definitely. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into this show. So things I want to talk about in this video are for your Merch by Amazon business specifically, what tier you're on, how many total live listings do you have, and the amount of shirts that sold for the week, and the number of designs that actually sold, and if you had any returns, and we could talk about what worked for you and what didn't work. So just to start, what tier are you currently on, and then we can go from there.
All right, the nitty gritty. So I'm on tier 500 right now. I got tiered up maybe 2.5 or 3 weeks ago. After I just maxed out the slots, and then I got moved up. So tier 500 right now. And then live designs, I think, is next. 131 live today. And I'm about to go on a binge and just put up as many as I can. Probably try to get another 35 or 50 up today. So we'll see what happens.
You're going to be drinking a lot of coffee today?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just getting started. So, yeah, I think that's what we're on. And then what's next? You want to do what you're at right now, or do you want me to just finish running through all the numbers that I'm at?
I'll do mine. So I'm also currently on tier 500. I have 104 live listings at the moment, and the number of shirts sold for the week was 7, and the number of designs that sold for me was just 4. I had 0 returns, and some things that worked for me. I noticed that the one niche that I'm in actually continues to sell pretty well for me. I'm not in like multiple niches. I have about, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 designs kind of listed in, like, I don't know, 5 different niches, but I have one niche that I'm in where I really focus on and just upload a lot of designs for that one niche, and that continues to sell pretty well for me. I do have like I probably have 2 shirts in a like the political niche, and that one of those designs sold for me. It was actually like I have 3 pro-Trump shirts and then 3 anti-Trump shirts just to see, what works.
Sure.
And believe it or not, the pro-Trump shirt actually worked. So I sold one of those shirts that sold this week. And yeah, so just that focusing on that one niche that I'm in actually works pretty well. That is the one that's consistently making sales for me. And some things that really didn't work for me, for some odd reason, none of my Father's Day designs worked. I'm not sure what the issue is. I'm a little bit disheartened by it, because from what I hear throughout other YouTube videos that I watch, it looks like Father's Day is like the biggest, or one of the biggest times of the year where Merch by Amazon shirts really sell. Unfortunately, I'm not having any success with it, but I'm going to continue uploading some designs. We're getting pretty late with Father's Day designs.
We still got a week though, right?
Yeah, we still have about a week, so hopefully I get something. For my Mother's Day designs last month, it was about like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks before Mother's Day, where everything just like took off for my Mother's Day designs. And I was kind of hoping the same thing with Father's Day, but we're already coming up close to 1 more week, and I haven't sold anything. I don't know. So at least the niche I'm in actually is still working for me. Do you want to go ahead and talk about what worked for you and what didn't work for you?
Yeah. So, and I actually have a lot of questions about that. But okay, so I'm at tier 500. I have 131 live, and then this week I'm at 6 sales. And it's really weird because it's been literally, I'll go like 1 day without anything and get like pretty discouraged, and then I'll have like a day where it's 2, and then another day. So it's like every other day, but I'm getting 2 on that day, which is funny. Number of designs sold, it's pretty broad. I've sold 5 designs. So, yeah, that's been good. And then I've 0 returns. I've still have not got a single return yet. Knock on wood.
Yeah, same here. I haven't had any returns, but I did have 2 cancels. So that's about it. But returns, I haven't had any yet.
So if we go off cancels, I haven't had any this week. I know I've had I think I've had like 4 or 5 total, which isn't horrible. So, but yeah, I'm fingers crossed I don't get too many more of those. And then, yeah, what worked, what didn't? Let's see. So I think, and this kind of goes back to what you were saying, but I actually this last week I hired my designer, and I had him. This was kind of the first week that we were getting our workflow down, and I had him do a bunch of different designs in a lot of different niches just to see kind of what would work out. And I don't want to say throw spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks, but kind of to see what sticks, and also see kind of the limits of his design capabilities. I think that might have technically been one of the things that has not helped me as much, because before I had used a designer, I was similar to you. I had one specific niche that sold like a solid 80% of my designs, and I didn't have the designer do any of those because I feel pretty confident in doing them myself. So I think that did not work. What did work though is also about the designer, is I do feel like I created this week the workflows that I needed. And so it's pretty fluid with him, where I can just essentially the night he's in the Philippines. So my night, his day, I finish uploading all of my keyword research from that day. And then I go to sleep, he does the work, and I wake up and I already have 10 or 15 designs, depending what we agreed upon that day. And I can spend, my morning uploading those designs. So I think that was kind of my big focus for this last week. And now it's continuing to learn and optimize kind of my keyword research, and then what you're doing, which I think is what I need to do. And that's going deep instead of broad. So I mean, has that just been something that's worked from you the whole time? And is that like, what percentage of your sales are from that one like niche specifically?
The niche for me is selling pretty well. I'd say that is a good 80%, 85% maybe of the
Yeah.
shirts that sell for me. I get about one or two, maybe a week of the other niches, but for the most part, that one niche that I'm in is selling pretty consistently for me. Yeah, I am focusing on not only the niche, but like you said, I try to get trends because I'm only at tier 500. And when I was on tier 100, really, I tried to really focus on trends. But since I did tier up to 500, I feel like I can actually just venture out and go more broad with, probably getting 20 or 30 designs in other niches and, see if that works and see if that sticks really. So I'm glad to have been able to tier up to 500. That would just really allow me to experiment with different niches now.
Yeah.
So I'll still focus on my one niche and also just go abroad as well.
Yeah, I think it's a game changer just getting the extra slots because tier 100, you still definitely feel a little cautious with your space.
Yeah, it's a little bit limited,
And you like, what were your uploads? I think it's like 25 or 10 when you're at tier 100. I don't know if it's changed now, but
I think it was 10. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was 10 for me.
So yeah, I think, but now it's like, I think 10 seems so manageable. And now the change is like with tier 500, I'm sure it's probably the same for you, but I can do 50 uploads a day.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a lot more than I don't think I've ever actually hit that number. So now it's the same thing. Like, I think it's like, I kind of have this like excitement. Oh, should I try all these different niches? And that took me away a little bit from what's been working, which I don't think, again, it's not a bad thing. It's just like, all of this is just an experiment. So we're still tweaking it and trying to find like what works for us, what works for the style that our designer has. Cause they all might have like a slightly different style. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I think that's kind of the big takeaway for me from this week so far.
So what's your game plan? Are you ever going to try to upload 50 designs per day, or are you just going to do, probably 10 or 20 and call it a day because you're not going to be able to upload 50, or do you think you're going to try to start actually uploading 50 a day?
Yeah, I mean, so that's a good question. Right now, my current game plan is, so I only just like, for some background, I only have one designer and, I don't do amazing designs myself. So I try to give kind of the more complex stuff to him, obviously. And then I do more of the like text heavy or, maybe has one graphic that I can get for free, from some clip art site or whatever. That's the stuff I'll stick to. But right now my goal is to fill up my design slots by the end of, what month are we in? June. So I have another 20-ish days to fill those up. Now I might not get close to that. I might end up coming closer to like 400 designs, but I think that the trend that I've been seeing is that a lot of the tiering up process now is really more about how maxed out your design slots are.
I've noticed that as well. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not the only one, and I think it seemed like before, I don't know like if this was the same for you, but it seemed like it was kind of a mix of like how many designs you had live, but then like people were doing all these tactics like, okay, you have to have, if you're a tier 25, you have to have at least 25 designs live. You have to at least get 25 sales. And then you also have to like show that you have pending drafts or whatever. So I was when I was in my low stages, I was trying to do all that stuff. And now I don't know if it's because the whole like merch by Amazon thing's changing, or I don't. What do you think?
I don't think any of us really know what the Amazon gods really want. They just have their own requirements. What I've noticed on my end is that I feel like if you're at least pretty close to maxing out your designs, I usually get tiered up every single month, either it be in the beginning of the month or towards the middle. I've never gone a month without tiering up. So that's just my experience so far. I don't know if you have the same experience pretty much.
I've been, I think mine's slightly different because I just got accepted back in September of 2017, and at the probably in the middle of the month, and then I was like, oh, cool, kind of. I applied and got accepted like maybe a week or two later, so I didn't have a long waiting process, but I didn't really know much about merch. I wasn't in any of the groups, and so I just uploaded a few designs, and it took me a while to get to tier 25. I don't think I got there till maybe like November. So
did you max out or get close to maxing out your design uploads?
I think I had 10 live, and I did them all myself. They were, looking back now, I'm like, wow, I don't know who bought that stuff, but I got 8 sales, and then I think I bought my last 2 designs out just to get to the next level, and I because I heard that that would work. And of course it did. And so I got tiered up, and it was probably good because that way I could see the quality. And then it took me maybe another like 2 months to get to tier 100. And then took me, I'd say like another I want to say 2 or 3 months. I don't know where we're at on the timeline, but to get moved up to tier 500, which was roughly, like I said, 3 weeks ago or so. So, and
honestly, back to what you said, I was really surprised when I made a design myself and it actually sold. I just really went to like Google Images and just typed in free like PNG images. I just downloaded that, put it on a shirt, and then made some basic. I put probably like 3 words on the shirt with the graphic on the left side of it. Just uploaded it and it sold. I was like, wait, someone bought something that I made. I'm not a designer, so I was pretty shocked and surprised when it actually worked.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's always someone out there that'll buy your stuff if it's decent, or maybe you put up something that's horrible, but for some reason it resonates with someone. So that's the cool part though about Amazon, is since they already have the traffic and it's a huge marketplace. Like,
right.
You might you might make a text, just a design that says like something really, really simple, like seniors 2018, and put it up. And next thing you know, it blows up and you get like 10 or 15 sales. So it's like,
right.
I don't know. But that's also why this is right now is such a like awesome opportunity, is because it's already there. It's people will say that it's saturated, but it's not really at the point where, we were talking about private labeling earlier. If you want to get private label successful, you pretty much like have to budget in a good amount of money to do advertising. And I think with merch right now, we haven't reached that point. I know there are people that do some advertising, but it doesn't seem to be like a requirement to get into it. There's still a lot of like untapped niches, and there's still a lot of like improvement that can be done on, different styles of design or whatever. So I don't know. When people say that it's too saturated to you, how do you feel about that?
I think there's always an opportunity to get into something. You're going to hear that with any single business. I'm pretty sure you've heard about the same thing with eBay, with Etsy,
Sure.
or maybe not Etsy, but Merch by Amazon or Amazon FBA, private label, Shopify. You're always going to hear it being oversaturated. Really what it takes is for you to just get in and also upload as many designs as you can. You can't just get in there and have about 10 designs and nothing works and then say, well, it's oversaturated. No, you have to consistently list and get your items out there. And, as you grow your store or grow your amount of designs, you're going to make some sales. I strongly believe that it is safe to say at least 1% of your amount of designs will sell per month. And 1% is pretty low, like lowballing it. So if it's safe to say that, your goal is to just upload more and more and more, and something will sell for sure. And that's my take on it. You're always going to hear competition is too high for any business you get into.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, I was going to do a separate video on this at some point, but I actually think I heard this on the podcast that you did with the Merch Lifestyle guys. I don't think it was the same episode that you were in, but one of their other episodes where they mentioned that there are actually a few places on I think it's like the merch page that you sign up on originally that make it sound like they do plan on expanding outside of just apparel. So I think that, just hearing little tidbits like that, there's no way, with knowing how successful this platform is right now, they're definitely going to go international. That. So if we're here before they launch internationally, that's already a step up. And number two is if they also go and launch like coffee mugs or like, whatever else, tote bags, it doesn't, like beach towels, all those things are just going to be a whole nother way that we can get into it. And so I think that's the other really, really exciting like part about being on it right now. Like right now we have, just in the last year, they went from just having t-shirts to t-shirt, premium t-shirt, long sleeve, a hoodie. And then I'm sure there's going to be all kinds of other stuff. So,
right. So it's going to be like another Printful or Teespring type of thing going on.
Yeah, I think those companies, if I owned one of those companies, I'd be a little freaked out, because when Amazon gets into something that works, like they're gonna take
over it pretty much.
Yeah,
I definitely agree. I honestly am extremely surprised that they're not charging to be on this platform. It's all free to get on, so that's just an amazing thing about being on Merch by Amazon, that is free. And another thing is that, like, if you sell on Printful with the Etsy integration, or just Printful in general, or any other like print-on-demand fulfillment platform, they charge you to make the shirt to sell it to the customer. Whereas with Merch by Amazon, is purely just they make it for you and then you just profit the royalties, which is extremely cool to me.
Yeah, it's okay. So that brings up two questions for me. Number one is I'm curious like how you're doing on other platforms. That's I kind of mentioned it. I have some listings live on Etsy and a few on eBay. But I don't want to get too far down that rabbit hole yet, just while I'm focused still on kind of trying to at least get to maybe tier 1000. So I'm curious how your experience has been on those other platforms. And then I'm also curious, have you been doing any kind of like your own advertising, like with Facebook ads or influencers or anything to your merch shirts?
Yeah, I do Etsy with the Printful integration. And I honestly like Etsy just in general, and I have had some pretty good success with it. The same niche that I'm in with Merch by Amazon, I make some good sales with Etsy as well. I do advertising with Etsy, and Etsy has like a feature where you can advertise on Google with this little feature that they have. It's called Google Shopping, and you can advertise not only on just the Etsy platform, but you can also advertise on like Google Search. So I have had success with that. It does get a little bit pricey sometimes, so you have to really watch the amount that you're spending to turn off or turn on and off the advertising. So yeah, I've had some success. I currently have about 60 designs uploaded to Etsy, and it is a lot of work, really, just going from Merch by Amazon, then going to Etsy and like typing in same keywords and uploading all the designs and stuff. So it gets a little tiring sometimes. Like I said, I have 104 listings with merch, and I only have 60 with Etsy right now, but the same thing with Merch by Amazon. I have success. I'll get a lot of designs going up and some sales going on. So I've had some success with it. I don't sell on Teespring or Redbubble or anything like that because I still work another job, so I don't have much time for it.
Sure.
But if I had all my time throughout the whole entire day, I definitely would look into other platforms to sell print on demand as well.
Do you think you're gonna eventually get like a product lister for merch, Etsy, all of that stuff as well? Is that kind of in the
Definitely. I definitely want to scale this business for sure because I see so much potential. I can see this business scaling up so much. Like you said, I can definitely see myself hiring a lister. But the thing with that is I'm not sure how to do the process with it. I'm not sure. Do I give them my login and password and they upload from there?
Yeah, it's a good question.
I just give me like a link or a spreadsheet. I mean, with the design, and they give me all the keywords, and I just copy and paste. I'm not really sure how that works. So
yeah, I know there's a few. I haven't used any of these tools, and I know Can you hear me, by the way? I know that my internet might be a little choppy right now. Let's see.
Yeah, I can hear you. It did go out a little bit, but I can hear you now.
Okay, good. I was going to say, I know there's one thing that might work for that. And again, I haven't really thought about it too much, but I know I think there's a few tools where you can upload a CSV file or something like that with everything already filled in and just quick upload. I'm trying to think of what they're called, but yeah. So I don't know how, because I know like we mentioned, RJ and a few of the other kind of big people in merch have talked about how they have someone that lists for them. And so I think that's after that you get the design, all your designers in place. I think that's kind of the next step is scaling up to where you're hopefully making enough in royalties to cover all the designers, still be profitable. And then if you can also get a lister who can list all your new designs on merch, but then also take them and put them on Etsy, on Shopify, all those platforms, I think that's going to be an absolute game changer. If you can make, $500 on merch, but then on each of those platforms, you can just make another $100 with the same number of designs. That's huge. So
right, those other platforms are not as big as Amazon, of course, right. But you definitely can make some money from it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So how do you see Merch by Amazon going? Honestly, like I said, I can see them adding on other products as well. And how do you see your Merch by Amazon business growing? What do you want to do with it?
Yeah, so I guess just talking about, kind of the longer term strategy, I think that, again, getting to tier 500 definitely gives you room to play around a little bit more. And I think the way that I look at it is that all the designs you get your designer to make are these digital assets that you have, because you can take them and go off of Amazon and build a brand on, wherever you want, Shopify or whatever it is. I think just like in the private labeling space, a lot of people talk about it. At the end of the day, on Amazon, you have to play by Amazon's rules, and they're the ones that own the customer and everything else. And that has its pros and obviously its cons too. So I think right now the focus is just staying on Amazon and being as compliant as possible and taking as much advantage of the platform as possible. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, I definitely want to take all of the designs and everything that I have and kind of start building more of a business off of Amazon. And I think kind of specifically what I want to do is actually, you know, I know you and I both talked about having some success with specific niches, however you say it.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, and I say it different every time, but you find the niche that works for you on Amazon and that you like and maybe your designer works well with, and you see, okay, this is selling. You have the validation on Amazon with 0 paid traffic, and then you can take that and say, maybe I'm going to now go and build the branded Shopify store or the branded Etsy store specifically for that niche. And I think that's one of the probably the biggest things that is at least in the back of my head right now is, like I said, I do have one niche that is selling probably still about 75% of all of my sales. And I think that it's a really cool space. So I'm going to continue that. But also, I'm already getting organic traffic. So I can kind of do these mini split tests for free on Amazon. Say, okay, people liked this design. They didn't like this. They like this. They didn't like this.
So it's more of a testing ground for you. This is a way for you to see what actually does sell. And then you want to expand into like an actual just specific store for it. Is pretty much what you're saying.
100%. And so, yeah, I think you nailed that. That's pretty much it. That's my strategy right now.
So do you have like a social media page for your brand at all? Or do you even have a brand at all?
No, to be honest, I do not. I have like a few small Etsy stores, but I haven't really given them any love for a while. Just that kind of phased out when I started getting more serious with merch. And so I think, you know, when I was in kind of more of the Shopify game, which was around the same time I was doing eBay pretty hardcore, the hardest thing for me was trying to pick a store and stick with one specific niche. So I would create like a drop shipping store, but then I'd be like, wait, I want to do this product and this product and this product. And it was so hard for me to like be focused on one niche because I didn't really know like which one to pick, which one people were passionate about. But now I think that it makes it easier once you already see that one of your niches is having success and people are like naturally gravitating towards that or finding it. Now I can take that data, and I think that's what it's really all about, is getting your own data and your own experience, and then you can go build like that offline brand. So
yeah, I do have a Facebook page for I do have a brand, so I have a Facebook page for it, but it's just a lot of, you know, work having to upload and then upload to my Etsy store and then go into the Facebook page, and just a lot of work. So I plan on hopefully hiring a social media marketer for my business.
Nice.
And just really grow, you know, how the business, I just want to grow the business, excuse me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to have my plan is to hire about 3 to 4 designers, hire a social media marketer. So just upload to Facebook. I don't really have much faith in Twitter. I'm not sure why. It's something about it. I just don't really see growth with it.
Yeah.
So I maybe not do Twitter. But definitely Instagram for sure. And Snapchat. I have a lot of faith in Snapchat, but I'm not sure how you can like put POD business on a Snapchat, you know, out to look into that. But yeah, I really want to grow a brand, because that's how you get people more engaged with what you're selling, because they can, you know, definitely, you know, tell their friends about it. You know, I got this shirt from here, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I definitely believe in growing a brand.
Now, and then, so, okay, do you, just going back to merch then, do you keep all of your products under like one brand name? Or, because I know a lot of people are worried about someone coming and like finding all their designs, or do you still do like a different brand name for every shirt, or for every niche instead, or something like that? What's your strategy right now?
I do put a brand name on or most of my listings. Anything that I do online, some of my videos, I'll create a design and share it with everyone. So those type of designs, I do not put my brand on it, of course. But for the most part, I do have a brand that I put on every single shirt. It's a brand along with whatever trending topic it is. So I'll say, let's just say my brand is Marvel Comics. So I'll put Marvel Comics Father's Day designs or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. Anything I have on video that I record designing anything, I will not, put my brand name on it, because they can steal my designs, of course. What about yourself? Do you use a brand name for your designs?
At first I did. I used I had a name that I was using on one of my Shopify stores back in the day, and I was using that. And because again, at that point I wasn't too serious about anything. So I didn't really care if people came in and stole my designs, because they're I was doing them all myself. And then as I got more serious about it, I started doing different brand names, but they'd be kind of similar. So normally what I'll try to do is actually just put the keyword that I'm looking for in the title. And then, so let's say, I do a golden retriever and then some other word maybe related kind of to a brand. And then it's normally just kind of off the cuff, whatever I'm thinking that day, as long as the keyword's in there. But I'm a little hesitant still. I don't know if to me, I'm not sure there's a big benefit in building the brand name on Amazon right now, but I also don't know. I don't really know. I think it's a little too early to really be able to see that. Then again, it could be something that helps if someone's interested in dog shirts and you have one brand for all of your dog shirts. Someone could click into that and then see all your dog shirts and be able to go on a shopping spree, hopefully, for your dog shirts. So I don't know if that's the solution or not.
So you're saying just have different brands for different niches, and you can also build around that brand. You can probably build a Facebook page or whatever social media you want. So yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Pretty good topic. The reason why I said I have a brand for all of my shirts is because I see my POD platform and POD business as something like $6 designs, or what's another one? Busted Tees. I'm not sure if you ever heard of those websites, but Busted Tees and $6 designs is just a website you go on, and they have just a ton of different categories, and people can just go on there and click whatever category they're interested in and see all the different shirts. So that's how I see my print-on-demand business, and hopefully I can build a website for it.
So pretty much just a general store, but you have, at that point, you're hopefully scaled up so much that you have, designs in literally any niche that's out there. So it can be anything. So kind of a Teespring or any Cafe Press, all the other websites.
Right, exactly. So that's how I definitely want to grow my business.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. Well, I'm pumped. I just think that there's still a lot of opportunity, and it's still such a young platform right now. And I think the other thing that I always try to remind myself is the more you get into a certain part of e-commerce, the more you become, there's an echo chamber around it, and what I mean by that, I guess, is that if we're in merch, it seems sometimes it's so saturated because we're in all of the merch groups and we get targeted by all these, merch ads online. But then I have to remind myself, hey, if I didn't know anything about merch, I probably wouldn't have any clue. I wouldn't think it was saturated. You know what I mean? It's just, we kind of trick ourselves to think, oh, everyone knows about this. In reality, it's it's just the people we know that are in it already. And so,
that's how they get you. If you went to merchbyamazon.com and then go to Facebook, and you'll see an ad hey, are your sales slow this week? Do you want to grow your business? Click here and sign up. That's pretty much how they target you.
Yeah, it's nuts. But I'm really excited about the platform, and I think it's fun. And to be honest, one of the funnest parts so far for me has just been kind of connecting with other people that are working on it. And because we all kind of have this similar, I don't want to say background, or drive, but it's all these people who either love design or they love e-commerce. Maybe this is their first thing they've done online, or it's their third or fourth venture, but it's just such an easy platform to figure out. And I think there's a lot of it's still so early. There's so many tactics that we have to learn, and a lot of opportunity out there. So yeah.
Definitely. So to close this out, I want to just ask one more question, and then we'll go ahead and close it up. So I want to talk about what are some of the biggest problems or issues that you have with Merch by Amazon, and just pretty much what really frustrates you about it, and how do you overcome it?
Yeah, I guess the biggest frustrations, I do sometimes feel that the royalty that we get is fairly low. But then, yeah, I don't know. I know that's might be kind of a controversial topic, so I don't know. I just, I price a lot of my shirts fairly low. I was doing the $12.99 per shirt method, and that, that nets you 9 cents. Right. And then, so I moved up to, my royalties were, I think I did $1,000 in sales for Amazon since I started. And so they made great money. I made out of that, I don't know, $80, something like that. So it was like, or maybe even less, it might have been $70. So that was one. Now I'm moving up more to like a higher price strategy, but I think that is kind of one of the big ones. And I guess to overcome that, I just have to remind myself, like, look, at the end of the day, Amazon does all the work. I literally just, no, I have no overhead other than now I have my designer, but that's a different story. And they handle everything, the customer service, printing, shipping, all of that. So,
well, I mean, compared to other platforms, they are kind of on the higher range as far as fees go.
Totally,
like
yeah.
Etsy takes what 3.5%. eBay takes like 9%. Or if you sell on Seller Central with Amazon, they take 15%.
Right.
And Merch by Amazon, their shirts are like $12 and some change right off the bat. Whereas with Printful, you can sell a shirt for $8.95, and whatever you profit over, or whatever you price over that, you can get the profit. So it's just that they know that they are the biggest dog on the online space, and since they know that, they're gonna make their money, you know. And plus, they're also like into other things. Like they're not just selling online, but they also, you know, purchase Whole Foods. They have that business going on, and they have all these other businesses that they're in, Create Space and, you know, books and all that stuff. They need to make their money to really be profitable.
Yeah, totally. No, I think that's a good point. I think it's just, you know, I worked in the past with, you know, some of the other POD companies you mentioned, and like Custom Cat was a big one I worked with, and they did shirts for $6, I think. And then they paid, the shipping was obviously another like $3. They had like a flat rate. So I'm used to kind of that $9, which I guess is similar, but I guess I felt like I had more control over the price I ended up charging. And I guess that's the only other thing I'd say is with Amazon, they are really, the number one thing Amazon's amazing at with selling stuff is driving the prices down so that it's a more efficient marketplace. And I think that in the long run benefits, it both like hurts people and also benefits people. So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So I think like it's, you know, it's tough. Sometimes if we've been in this a while and we have a shirt design that's selling great and we've priced it up to $16, $17.95, but then we have someone else that sees that it's selling great, comes on and makes another listing at a lower price point, it can be sometimes a little hard. If they're at $12.99 and our shirt's at $16.95, someone might go buy that $12.99 one. But then again, you also have to think like, again, we get pushed up in rank. We're going to be shown high. Hopefully we have like some killer reviews or something on there. So again, I think they're like, those are small things, and a lot of them are really just in the head and they're not like legitimate problems. So yeah, I guess to end on a positive note, I still think that overall, for the amount of work you have to put in, Merch by Amazon's like a really, really good platform. So yeah,
definitely, I totally agree. And you know, just get your foot in. And we talked about building a brand. I think you have to build the brand and hopefully design your own website eventually, because you never know if Amazon will ever just put their foot down and just say like, hey, we know what sells now. Thanks for your guys' hard work and, you know, throughout the couple of years, but we don't need your guys' service anymore. We're just gonna start making our own shirts. Or even with selling on online as well on Amazon.com. You know, there's all these private label sellers on there. You know, you never know if Amazon's just gonna say like, all right, we know what sells now. Thank you guys. So bye now. So yeah, just, you know, get in where you can, you know, get on different platforms, always just like maximize the amount of streams of revenue that you got going on. So, and yeah, so do you have anything else you wanted to say at all?
I think that's it for this time. I'm excited to ask you some more questions on the next week's episode of this. But yeah, again, thank you so much for having me on your channel and getting this all set up. I think this is going to be awesome. And yeah, I hope everyone else, like if they have anything else that they want to add or think that we should talk about, you know, weekly, I'd love to see like a comment down below, just kind of talking about that. So, because the big thing I talk about on my channel is just like, at the end of the day, I'm still learning this. You know, I'm not, you know, a guru or anyone that's amazing at merch. I'm just learning and trying to document it and make it transparent. And I think that's what you do also. And so, yeah, I like to hear from kind of the other people that are in the community, like what's working, what's not, what's changing, and all of that stuff. So yeah,
definitely, guys. If you have any questions about Merch by Amazon or any other POD business, go ahead and leave any questions in the comment section below. So we're going to go ahead and end out this show today. And like Ben said, we're going to meet up hopefully next week. We'll let you guys know. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. See you next time.